Beneath the ruins of ancient Rome echoes a civilization that shaped the world, a city of marble and stone, of emperors and soldiers, of gods and men. The Roman Empire, at its peak, spanning 3 continents, ruling over 60 million people. From the mighty hills of Rome to the distant sands of Africa, the empire was a force, relentless, brilliant, and terrifying. But Rome was more than conquests and emperors. It was a city of streets that thrummed with life, of markets, temples, and taverns. A city where power was displayed not just in armies and palaces, but in blood, in spectacle, in the arena. Rome was a world of contradictions, luxury and poverty, religion and violence, wisdom and brutality. The Romans worshipped a pantheon of gods: Jupiter, Mars, Venus, deities who demanded devotion and ritual. Festivals marked the calendar: Saturnalia, Lupercalia, a time of feasts, masks, and wild revelry. But beyond the gods, the people celebrated human achievement, triumphs for generals returning from war, monuments carved from marble, mosaics depicting myth and history.
We must consider
Family
the
life was
consequences
strict.
of this
The pater
action,
familias ruled
not
the
just for
household with
ourselves,
authority, yet public
but for
life
the
thrived in
Republic.
forums and baths. The baths were more than hygiene. They were the heart of Roman social life. Deals were struck, gossip spread, and alliances forged. Roman citizenship was prized, but the life of the common citizen was often harsh. And then there was entertainment. The people of Rome demanded spectacle, a thrill, a confrontation with life and death. The Colosseum, an architectural marvel, seated 50,000 spectators. Its walls echoed with screams, cheers, and the clash of steel. Here, politics and entertainment merged. Emperors demonstrated their power not just with armies, but by offering bread and circuses. Gladiators, men and sometimes women, trained for one purpose: survival in the arena. Some were slaves, captured in wars. Some were criminals. Others, volunteers seeking fame and fortune. They were warriors of spectacle. Their weapons were swords, nets, and tridents. Their arenas ranged from grand colosseums to smaller amphitheaters in provincial towns. Each fight was more than combat. It was ritual. The crowd decided the fate of the fallen with gestures of thumbs up or down. Victory brought glory, wealth, and sometimes freedom. Defeat brought death. But gladiators were more than killers. They were heroes, celebrities of their time. Posters and inscriptions celebrated their victories. Fans idolized them like modern sports stars. The games were a reflection of Roman society. They taught discipline, courage, and the harsh reality of life. But they also exposed the dark side of Roman power: the normalization of violence, the manipulation of the masses, the spectacle as a tool of control. Some historians argue gladiators were symbols of resistance, men who defied death and social status to claim honor. The training schools, or ludi, were harsh, but the camaraderie among gladiators was strong. Some became so legendary that emperors feared their fame rivaling their own. Yet, the arena was not just for blood sport. Naval battles were staged on flooded arenas. Exotic animals from across the empire, lions, elephants, crocodiles, were brought to fight or be hunted. Rome demanded awe.
If we
Rome
proceed, there is no
demanded
turning
fear.
back.
In our modern
The Republic
world, the
demands
spirit of the gladiator lives
So it is
on.
decided.
Professional athletes, stunt performers, and even military soldiers embody the courage, discipline, and resilience of the arena. Boxers and MMA fighters, stepping into the ring, recreate the thrill of combat, yet with rules, honor, and skill. In cinema and media, actors portray gladiators, bringing ancient battles to life, reminding us of our fascination with struggle, heroism, and mortality. The arena has evolved. Today, stadiums echo with cheers, not for life or death, but for skill, strength, and human drama. Yet beneath the spectacle, the lesson remains. People have always craved stories of courage and confrontation, of ordinary men facing extraordinary odds. Rome was not built in a day, and it did not fall in one either. Its roads still crisscross Europe. Its laws still underpin modern justice systems. The Latin language became the seed for Italian, French, Spanish, and more. Architecture borrowed arches, domes, and aqueducts. But perhaps the most enduring legacy is psychological. The idea that a civilization can wield power, awe, and fear all at once. That spectacle can shape society. That culture can inspire even centuries later. So when you watch a stadium filled with roaring fans, when you see athletes tested to their limits, when you hear stories of courage, fame, and defeat, remember the arena of Rome. Remember the men and women who fought not for survival alone, but for glory, honor, and legacy. The Roman Empire may be gone, but its echoes remain. In our cities, our sports, our stories, the spirit of Rome endures. Rome was not only about emperors and armies. It was a city of secrets, conspiracies, and contradictions. Beneath the grandeur of marble temples and triumphal arches, whispers of betrayal often shaped history. Senators plotted in shadowed corridors. Emperors were assassinated by those closest to them, and entire families could rise or fall in a single night. The streets were alive with stories. Philosophers debated morality in the forum. Poets recited verse to eager crowds, and merchants from every corner of the empire traded spices, silks, and ideas. Rome thrived on spectacle, but also on curiosity. The Colosseum was only one stage. Chariot races thundered through the Circus Maximus, where drivers risked life and limb for fame and fortune. Theaters staged tragedies and comedies, teaching lessons of love, ambition, and the human condition. Romans were inventors and engineers. Aqueducts carried water over miles. Roads connected the empire like veins, and public baths were marvels of technology and social life. Yet they were also a people of extremes. Luxury mingled with poverty, festivals with fasting, and worship with superstition. Even in death, the city fascinated. Mausoleums, catacombs, and tombs told stories of lives once lived, secrets buried beneath layers of stone, awaiting discovery. And gladiators? Their legend did not end with the fall of the empire. Some escaped to become folk heroes. Others inspired myths, paintings, and literature for centuries. Their courage, skill, and sacrifice became symbols of human endurance and ambition. Rome also held mysteries yet unresolved, lost treasures, hidden chambers, and the whispers of events so extravagant or scandalous that history barely records them. Who knows how many tales of forbidden love, daring escapes, or secret societies lie buried beneath its streets? Every ruin invites imagination. Every column and mosaic sparks curiosity, and every story reminds us that the Romans, in all their complexity, were not so different from us. Ambitious, curious, passionate, and flawed. So when you watch a stadium filled with roaring fans, when you see athletes tested to their limits, when you hear stories of courage, fame, and defeat, remember the arena of Rome. Remember the men and women who fought not for survival alone, but for glory, honor, and legacy. The Roman Empire may be gone, but its echoes remain. In our cities, our sports, our stories, the spirit of Rome endure.